American rapper, musician, actor, and television personality, Percy Romeo Miller Jr. was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, on August 19, 1989. His life has been a combination of incredible success and difficult personal struggles. From a young star to a versatile entertainer, he first went by Lil Romeo before dropping the Lil to act as Romeo. He is the nephew of rappers Silk the Shocker and C Murder, and the son of rapper and businessman Master P, and former musician Sonia C. Romeo was introduced to the hip-hop scene at an early age, laying the groundwork for a vibrant career, having grown up in a musical family connected to the powerful No Limit Records. However, in addition to his accomplishments, he has experienced severe personal tragedies that have tried his fortitude. This essay examines Romeo Miller's life, career, and tragic experiences, emphasizing his capacity to deal with hardship and loss while making a significant contribution to the entertainment industry. Romeo Miller signed with No Limit Records as a child star in the early 2000s, marking the start of his career. My Baby, the breakthrough single from his 2001 debut album Lil Romeo, climbed at number 1 and number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, solidifying his status as a budding rap artist. He combined kid-friendly hip-hop with commercial appeal in a number of his albums, such as Game Time 2002 and Romeo Land 2004. Miller made the switch to acting, appearing as a fictionalized version of himself in the Nickelodeon series Romeo from 2003 to 2006. In addition, he voiced Scooby-Doo in 2002 and co-starred with Jessica Alba in Honey 2003. He co-founded My Little Rocket Company and produced the television program Finding My Romeo, demonstrating his entrepreneurial spirit. He has also held positions as an investor, philanthropist, executive producer, and MTV host with companies like Astrum Tech USA and Treon. In addition to providing entertainment, Miller demonstrated his athletic prowess by defeating future NBA player James Harden in the big-time three-point tournament as a sophomore in high school. In a 2017 Slam Online interview, he reflected on his brief basketball career. Recent appearances in Lifetime holiday movies have added to his varied career and assisted him in overcoming personal obstacles. Romeo Miller is a number 1, A Voyage Through Tragedy and Victory. Romeo Miller was raised in the culturally rich but economically and socially challenged city of New Orleans, where he was born into a musical dynasty. Romeo had a unique introduction into the industry because to his father, Percy Miller, Sr., Master P, who established No Limit Records, a trailblazing company in Southern hip-hop. The breakthrough single My Baby, which sampled the Jackson 5-5's I Want You Back, debuted at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was featured on his debut album, Lil Romeo, 2001 when he was 11 years old. He became a teenage phenomenon thanks to the album's success, which combined melodic tunes with kid-friendly rap. His reputation in the music industry was cemented by follow-up albums such as Game Time 2002 and Romeo Land 2004, which catered to a younger audience while negotiating the demands of child fame. Miller was more than just a musician. He played a young musician juggling stardom and family life in the semi-autobiographical Nickelodeon sitcom Romeo from 2003 to 2006. His filmography includes Honey 2003 and Scooby-Doo 2002, in which he co-starred with Jessica Alba as a voice actor. As he subsequently noted in a 2017 Slam Online interview, he showed variety by pursuing athletics as well. He even defeated future NBA great James Harden in a high school three-point shooting tournament. Romeo paved the way for a varied career path with his early career, which demonstrated his versatility. Romeo dropped the Lil nickname as he grew older, changing his name to Romeo to better represent his development. He kept experimenting with acting, making appearances in TV shows and movies, such as the 2020's Lifetime holiday flicks, which he explained in a 2024 Yahoo interview as a way to use art to deal with personal issues. He co-founded My Little Rocket Company because of his business mentality, which was similar to his father's, and produced Finding My Romeo, a reality show. Miller's business savvy was further demonstrated by his work as an investor, MTV host, and executive producer on projects including Trion and Astromatech USA. In a 2012 Rolling Out interview, he highlighted his pride in avoiding problems like substance misuse and legal issues, which many child stars do not. As he worked to give back to communities like those in New Orleans, his generosity also became a pillar, reflecting his principles and origins. Romeo Miller's life has been characterized by severe personal tragedies, notwithstanding his accomplishments. The death of his sister, Tatiana Miller, was the most painful of all. Tatiana, 29, died in May 2022 after unintentionally becoming intoxicated with fentanyl, a terrible result of the country's drug epidemic. As reported, the abrupt and inexplicable loss of a beloved daughter and sister left the Miller family in a state of intense anguish. Romeo's life was left empty after Tatiana's passing brought attention to the risks of fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that is becoming more frequently associated with unintentional overdoses. He conveyed the anguish of losing someone so close in interviews and public remarks, and his family shared this sense as they grieved together. Family dynamics were strained by the catastrophe, which revealed existing conflicts. Months after Tatiana's death, in December 2022, Romeo and his father, Master P, got into a public argument about personal and financial matters. Disagreements on finances, support, and grieving-related emotional processes were exposed by the social media dispute, which was reported by organizations such as Baller Alert. Master P defended his role as a father and provider, but Romeo's open YouTube uploads and conversations revealed his unhappiness. This gap demonstrated how tragedy can sever even the strongest ties, making it difficult for the Miller family to deal with loss in the face of public scrutiny. Romeo's suffering was exacerbated by the loss of Tatiana, but it also strengthened his resolve to do tribute to her memory by being resilient and purposeful. Romeo had to deal with more than just Tatiana's passing. He described a traumatic event from his early years in a 2025 Baller Alert interview. After he barely survived a vehicle accident when he was 8 years old, a cousin passed away in his arms. His appreciation for life was shaped by this near-death experience, which had a lifelong impact. More recently, in May 2024, Romeo had significant neck and spine injuries that momentarily prevented him from walking after a horrifying vehicle accident. As many have been told, his physical and mental fortitude were put to the test during his torturous recuperation. Nevertheless, he used his position to motivate others and transform this hardship into personal development. Romeo Miller's life is a tapestry of tragedy and triumph. Despite these hardships, Miller stayed strong, rejecting the destructive paths of drugs or scandal and instead turning to his family, faith, and artistic endeavors like his 2024 Lifetime film effort to recover. His development as a multifaceted performer and businessman is interwoven with his early years as a kid rap sensation. His successful songs, acting appearances, and business endeavors throughout his career demonstrate a will to succeed in spite of adversity that stems from his origins in New Orleans and the history of No Limit Records. Throughout it all, he has honored loved ones, navigated suffering, and created a legacy that continues outside of the spotlight by using art, generosity, and perseverance. Romeo Miller is number 2. Resilience in the face of trauma and success. Romeo Miller was born in New Orleans, a city with a great musical history, but also plenty of difficulties. His father's innovative business, No Limit Records, had a big influence on him growing up. This setting catapulted him into the public eye at an early age. His breakthrough track, My Baby, which sampled the iconic sound of the Jackson 5, peaked at number 1 and number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. He released his debut album, Lil Romeo 2001, when he was 11 years old. He became a rising sensation as a result of the album's popular kid-friendly rap style. His position in hip-hop was further cemented by his later releases, Game Time 2002 and Romeo Land 2004. Romeo's skills went beyond music. He starred in the Nickelodeon series Romeo from 2003 to 2006, appealing to a younger audience while juggling the demands of celebrity. A humorous look at his life as a young singer trying to balance family and fame. He co-starred with Jessica Alba in Honey 2003 and provided a voiceover in Scooby-Doo 2002. In a 2017 Slam Online interview, he revealed that he was athletically inclined and that he made headlines as a sophomore in high school after defeating future NBA player James Harden in a three-point shooting battle. Romeo's potential to succeed in a variety of fields was demonstrated by this broad foundation, paving the way for an exciting future. Romeo rebranded to reflect his development and lost the Lil prefix as he grew older. His acting career took off in the 2020s, when he starred in Lifetime holiday films, which he explained in a 2024 Yahoo interview as a way to cope with personal struggles. Following in his father's footsteps, he co-founded My Little Rocket Company, produced the reality series Finding My Romeo, and served as an MTV host and executive producer. His commercial acumen was demonstrated by his investments in projects like Treon and Astromatech USA. His delight in staying away from the dangers of child stardom, drugs, alcohol, and arrests was encapsulated in a 2012 Rolling Out interview, Romeo's Path, which focuses on philanthropy and community impact. Especially in his hometown of New Orleans, combines creativity, discipline, and a dedication to legacy. Despite his accomplishments, Romeo Miller's life has been profoundly impacted by personal tragedy. He disclosed a terrifying childhood memory that had a lasting impact in a 2025 interview with Baller Alert. After a terrible vehicle accident when he was 8 years old, his cousin passed away in his arms. Romeo was supposed to be in the car, which added to the trauma. This near miss combined survival with severe loss. As Romeo cradled his dying relative amid the debris, the incident that happened during his early years forced him to face mortality. According to him, this encounter had a profound impact on him, bringing with it a mixture of shame, grief, and a greater understanding of how fleeting life is. The emotional impact of this event persisted, influencing his outlook and fortitude as he dealt with the difficulties of growing up in the spotlight. The loss of the cousin wasn't an isolated tragedy. Romeo also experienced further hardships, such as the unintentional fentanyl overdose death of his sister Titana Miller in 2022 and a car accident in 2024 that left him with severe neck and spine injuries that prevented him from walking for a while. However, the childhood accident sticks out as a turning point, a near-death experience that highlighted how unpredictable fate can be. Romeo's candor detailed how this early trauma affected his desire to live a worthwhile life, directing suffering into his acting, singing, and charitable endeavors. In the Baller Alert interview, Romeo Miller has demonstrated incredible fortitude in the face of tragedy. He was put to the test by the death of his cousin when he was 8 years old and subsequent difficulties, but he refused to let hopelessness define him. He relied on artistic endeavors, stating in a 2024 Yahoo interview that he was able to reconcile joy and sorrow while working on Lifetime films. As seen in Rolling Out, his dedication to abstaining from self-destructive practices distinguished him from many of his colleagues and demonstrated a maturity cultivated via adversity. As he worked to improve neighborhoods like those in New Orleans while respecting his heritage and the remembrance of departed loved ones, philanthropy emerged as a pillar. Romeo's varied career demonstrates his capacity for perseverance. His music changed throughout time to suit his development. His business endeavors continued his family's enterprising ethos, while his acting roles offered emotional relief. Despite being heartbreaking, the trauma of his cousin's passing encouraged him to create, connect, and contribute since it deepened his appreciation for life. His willingness to publicly address grief in the face of scrutiny is demonstrated via public conversations, such as his YouTube musings on family dynamics. Romeo was greatly influenced by this near miss and the terrible loss he suffered at such a young age, which gave him a sense of direction in the midst of sorrow. He used music, movies, and community service to inspire and heal while resolutely turning suffering into progress. Romeo Miller, number 3, Metamorphosis, Trauma, and Victory. American rapper, actor, businessman, and philanthropist Percy Romeo Miller, Jr. is better known by his stage name, Romeo, or as Lil Romeo. Born in New Orleans, Louisiana, on August 19, 1989, Romeo was bound for fame as the nephew of rappers C Murder and Silk the Shocker and the son of hip-hop pioneer Master P and former artist Sonia C. As a kid star, he enthralled audiences with his 2001 song, My Baby, and was shaped by the history of No Limit Records. Thereafter branching out into business, acting, and television, Romeo has, however, had significant personal difficulties outside of the spotlight, such as a car accident that changed his life in 2024. This essay explores how Miller used adversity as a springboard for personal development and artistic expression by delving into his life, career, and the life-changing effects of this tragic incident. Romeo Miller, who was born in New Orleans, a city rich in musical history but also marred by adversity, was raised surrounded by hip-hop, thanks to his father's innovative business, No Limit Records. He released his first album, Lil Romeo, 2001 when he was just 11 years old. The catchy single, My Baby, which sampled the Jackson 5, shot to the top of the charts. On the Billboard Hot 103, his prodigy status was established by this kid-friendly rap hymn, and his reputation as a teen sensation was further solidified by other albums, such as Game Time 2002 and Romeo Land 2004. Romeo carved out a position for himself in a cutthroat market by striking a balance between appeal and authenticity while navigating the demands of early popularity. He was not just a musician. He starred in the Nickelodeon series Romeo from 2003 to 2006, which was a humorous portrayal of a teenage musician balancing family life and celebrity. Subsequent film roles included a voice role in Scooby-Doo 2002 and Honey 2003, co-starring Jessica Alba. In a 2017 Slam Online interview, the athletically talented player also recalled how he defeated future NBA great James Harden in a high school three-point shooting competition. Romeo's early years demonstrated exceptional adaptability, setting the stage for a diverse career. Romeo abandoned the Lil moniker as he grew older, indicating a change to a more mature persona. In a 2024 Yahoo interview, he talked about how his acting career took off in the 2000s thanks to appearances in Lifetime holiday movies, which he regarded as a way to use art to cope with personal issues. He co-founded My Little Rocket Company, produced the reality show Finding My Romeo, and worked as an executive producer and MTV host, all of which were influenced by his father's business spirit. His business savvy was demonstrated by his investments in companies like Trian and Astromatech USA. Romeo took delight in steering clear of the traps of child celebrity, drugs, alcohol, and legal issues in favor of philanthropy, especially improving neighborhoods in New Orleans. In a 2012 Rolling Out interview, his path is a combination of ingenuity, self-control, and dedication to legacy. Romeo Miller's life changed drastically in May 2024 after he was in a terrible vehicle accident that put his fortitude to the test. He described the horrifying facts of this terrible event in an interview with People, which left him temporarily unable to walk due to severe neck and spine injuries. Romeo was thrown into a physical and psychological struggle after the crash, a sudden and dramatic upheaval, as his identity and independence were called into question due to his loss of mobility. The damage to vital regions, such as the neck and spine, necessitated a long and taxing recuperation period filled with discomfort, rehabilitation, and uncertainty. Romeo's reaction to this trauma, however, was revolutionary. His protracted recuperation put his fortitude to the test, forcing him to face both mental and physical constraints. Instead of giving in to hopelessness, he used this experience to grow himself and think carefully about the frailty of life and his mission. This adversity was reflected in his work, especially in his acting performances. Projects like Lifetime holiday films, as he mentioned in the 2024 Yahoo interview, became a place to balance joy and grief, transforming suffering into inspiration. Despite being heartbreaking, the event marked a turning point in his life and strengthened his resolve to come out stronger and with a clearer purpose. Romeo Miller's character is distinguished by his capacity to endure adversity. According to a 2025 Baller Alert interview, the 2024 vehicle accident is a solitary incident that adds to his life's hardships, which also include the death of his sister Tatiana Miller in 2022 and a recollection from his early years of a cousin who died in an accident. Grief and survival were overlaid by these events, but Romeo always triumphed. As seen by his 2012 rollout of Reflection, he steered clear of self-destructive pathways in favor of faith, family, and art. He wants to give back and commemorate his heritage and the people he lost, which is why he focuses his philanthropy on communities like those in New Orleans. Romeo discovered solace in his artistic endeavors. His music and filmmaking served as coping mechanisms for his struggles. Although his commercial endeavors continued a tradition of creativity, his public candor in YouTube conversations on family dynamics demonstrated his readiness to confront difficulties head-on, despite criticism. Despite being a low time, the accident in 2024 strengthened his fortitude and motivated him to share his tale of healing and rebirth with others. Romeo Miller's story is a gripping account of transformation, trauma, and victory. He has handled the highs of celebrity with poise, From his quick ascent to stardom as Lil Romeo with #1 hits in a Nickelodeon program to his development into a multifaceted actor, businessman, and philanthropist. According to what was revealed to the public, the terrible vehicle accident in May 2024 presented a significant obstacle, leaving him temporarily unable to walk due to severe neck and spine injuries. Romeo, however, turned hardship into a source of strength by transforming it into his job and personal development over a protracted recuperation. Romeo has maintained his focus in spite of these disasters. He has been open about family issues, such as his conflicts with Master P and the attention his Uncle C has received from the media. Murders court cases on YouTube videos. According to Yahoo, his part in a 2024 Lifetime holiday movie enabled him to use art as a healing tool to reconcile happiness and sorrow. As noted in a 2012 Rolling Out article, Miller has also pledged to stay away from the dangers that many child stars face, including drugs, alcohol, and humiliating arrests. Romeo Miller is a complex personality in entertainment and beyond, as evidenced by his trajectory, which combines early success, a variety of talents, and significant personal struggles.